Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, amazing viewers. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and I'm so glad that you found me. If you're returning, I'm so blessed to be doing your reading again today. You guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. So today's reading, interesting. What the F is this person's problem? I wish it were as easy as that, but there is a greater truth, okay? And the great truth is that there is no problem. There is no problem but the problem we believe to exist. Okay, now this isn't gaslighting into saying to accept challenges as whatever the world is handing forward to you and take it and settle or accept challenge. But what it is saying is that everyone is kind of on their path. And sometimes the path in which they're at is somewhere very lost and still trying to find their way through enlightenment, find their authentic self. Okay, and so we can't pass judgment on someone who is still walking the path. Everyone is on a different place in their path, finding enlightenment, getting to their truest self. Okay, but we are all pure conscious beings behind the ego, behind the trauma, behind the false self. And so we cannot pass judgment. And this doesn't mean, again, to gaslight ourselves and allow people to treat us in ways that don't feel good. Okay, but what this means is that if we don't feel good, then our ego most likely is getting in the way, because we don't need another person to say something. We don't need another person to do something. We don't need anyone else to validate, prop us up, confirm anything. If we feel that another person is doing something or not saying something or saying something that causes us pain, suffering, loss, sadness, then that means we're still operating out of ego. Okay, and that's the only great truth we need to accept, is the fact that only the ego is bruised. Only the ego needs to find validation and seek whatever it is that it needs to seek in order to justify itself. But the pure self already knows, doesn't need any validation, doesn't need to hear certain things, doesn't need anything but to support a great truth. And so if we don't understand the great truth, then the ego is still running the show. We still feel all these emotions. We still feel sadness and whatever else we might be feeling. Okay, now feelings are pure, and it's not saying that your feelings are wrong. It's just a navigation system telling you to examine your thoughts. So when you're feeling anything but joy, bliss, happiness, peacefulness, and at one, then it is your pure self telling you that your thoughts have gone awry, that your thoughts are being most likely pulled from ego. Okay, so why this is important is because you clicked on this video. So clearly you feel as though there's an issue here between you and the person on your mind. And so what we're going to look at is what exactly is the dynamic between you and this person that is causing a disconnect. Okay, not necessarily what's wrong with this person or what's wrong with you, but what is it within the false self that might be getting in the way here, and how can we work with that person in a way for us to transcend egos, to see the greater truth, in order for us not to be triggered, offended, hurt. Okay, so this is not for everyone, and certainly if this isn't resonating for you, then this isn't your video. But this is for those of us who know that we're suffering for whatever reason, and we're trying to find a way to move forward, move past, the ego, move past any part of us that still feels it needs to have some sort of comfort from an external person to make us feel a certain way. Okay, so with that all being said, that might have just been the message that you needed to hear, but let's take a look and maybe we'll see what the objective truth really is, and what might pull through is maybe part of your own problem or your own illusion, your own false self that might be getting in the way here. So we might not be prepared to hear that either. Okay, This isn't to victim blame or shame. This is strictly asking Spirit, what is the challenge here between two people? And certainly both people could be an ego. One could be an ego. No one can be an ego. Okay, but obviously if there's suffering, if there is a need for something to be resolved, then we're not connecting to pure love, wholeness, and peace, which is our pure state of being. Okay, so pile 1, we have the heart. Pile 2, we have this little, I don't even know what it is. I keep pulling it. It looks like a little winged bug. And then pile number 3, we have this rose quartz. It looks like a dragonfly. Okay, so hold up one as well so you guys can see this beautiful river stone. So we have 1, 2, 3. Sit with this energy, and I will see you guys at your pick. Hello, hello, my beautiful pile 1. You guys picked the river stone heart, and we're looking at what's the problem with this person. Okay, now if you skip the intro, I'm going to repeat it. Okay, I'll try to be very quick here, but there is no problem with anyone. Okay, the only challenge we might be facing is when we're on a certain part of the path of our own enlightenment, our own spiritual growth, and someone else is on their path. Okay, some people are further ahead in their spirituality and they're finding their true authentic self, and some people still haven't really seen the lights. They might still be uncovering, but no place is wrong, and there is no real problem because everything is as it should be. Although what we're looking at here is the dynamic between you and a person, and something that might be not feeling very good, and why this is coming up as an issue here. Okay, now the only way something could make us feel in any certain way is if we're needing to validate some part of our ego. Okay, the ego needs to hear something or feels a certain way or whatever it may be. So we always have to check back with our own self. Okay, and this isn't again gaslighting and saying that everything's fine and okay. This is us truly walking a path of enlightenment and saying, I do not need to hear this or see this in an external validation, confirmation, in order for me to be okay. Okay, like truly believe it and feel it. If we do feel a different way, then that is still us in ego, us still needing to confirm some part of our ego that is trying to run the show here. Okay, so that doesn't mean that people do things that, you know, are causing pain and suffering, but we don't need to be pained. We don't need to carry suffering. We know how to move forward. We know how to engage in an authentic way where we're responsive and we don't carry on the burden. Okay, if we're carrying a burden, if we're carrying suffering, then it is most likely because our ego is still sort of running the show here. Okay, so let's take a look at the dynamic between you, the person on your mind, and what exactly is the main issue going on here that's causing all this grief. So we have expansion with the blue ray, which is all about self-expression, because that's the throat chakra. Expansion. We have beginning. Okay. And we have a turtle. I'm so sorry. Why I'm laughing at the turtle is because this keeps coming up in a lot of my readings here, and it symbolizes something very specific for one of my viewers here, and so it's pretty funny that the turtle were to come up. Okay. Self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Wow, okay. Clean it up. 21. Or the number 3. And we have to the sea with number 7. A very strong message is coming through here. Very strong. 7 is all about faith, wisdom, reflection, and understanding. Okay, it's also the chariot in the tarot, which is about forward movement. We have surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. Okay, goddess, light attribute, the feminine expressed through wisdom. nature, life force, and sensuality. Shadow attribute, exploitation of the female nature and form. Okay, and we have child eternal, light attributes, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. Shadow attributes, inability to grow up and be responsible, extreme dependency on others for physical security. And we have heart space. Wow, very powerful. And we have skunk. And we have silver, 25. And we have roots with this heart. And it has an eye in it. Okay. We have seek. And wisdom. We have 63 with cast your sacred symbols, and it looks like someone pointing at this riddle. It reminds me of the riddle in the alchemy tarot here. Okay, 63, cast your sacred symbols. And we have the cave with number 32, or the number 5. And we have 51 with healer of the ages. Look at that. Wow. And number 6, healer of the ages. We have the owl, air energy coming through. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. All right. And this is all about wisdom, which we have wisdom right here. And we have Greenland shark. This great carnivorous shark inhabits the deep cold waters of the Arctic all year long. A fearsome predator for squid, fish, and marine mammals, it stands out above all for its exceptional longevity. Living till at least 272 years old, it can reach up to 400 years old, or sometimes even more than 500 years old. To mate, the female waits till the respectable age of 150. This message is hilarious, but not really. Wild yak. The wild yak is found up to 6,000 meters, 19,685 feet above sea level in the bleak uplands of Tibet. Equipped with a thick coat covered with long hair, it also secretes an oily substance, an antifreeze, through the skin, allowing it to withstand temperatures of minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, I just want to see what deep cold waters of the Arctic. How cold are these Arctic waters? Okay, allowing it to withstand temperatures of minus 40 degrees Celsius, minus 40 Fahrenheit. It compensates for its very poor eyesight with a highly developed sense of hearing and smell. Okay, this message is the clearest message of all time, although it's a very interesting timing this coming out. I'll pull tarot if we need to. Let me just sit here so I don't assume I know everything, and then I'll get into channeling what this message is for you guys. Beautiful pile number 1. I've been called to read cast your sacred symbols, and then we will get into what this is. $63. Time to make your mark, sugar. And what you do brings power to others. So put it out there, what you make and release. has a whole other life once it reaches the hands of others. Those whose hands will go on to cast their own sacred symbols as well. And the influence of your work may have just the tiniest chain reaction in their work. Confidence in what you do brings power to us all. Okay. That's another little layer here to this reading. So, pile 1, this message is definitely very specific. Don't force it to fit. You'll know if this is your reading or not. Okay? There is a little slight deviation here, but for the most part, the overall energy fits. And if it fits your situation, then this is your pile. If it doesn't, like I said, don't make it fit. So, this person and you have been together, or at least have been trying to come together. This person seems as though they are going very, 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 very slow. Very slow in this connection. Okay? They're very slow to move, to do anything here in this connection. And it's frustrating the hell out of you here. Okay? And it's frustrating because I feel as though what Spirit is showing here is that your understanding of what's real in this world is that someone who is interested in engaging with you and doing what they need to do in order to make things work would show up and do what they need to do, which makes absolute sense. Okay, right? Makes absolute sense. So you're not wanting to settle, and you keep trying to understand the heck is going on here with this person, because intuitively there's an understanding and a knowing that there's more going on here. But this person seems very cold. This person doesn't seem to express themselves very well. And for some of you guys, this person could really sort of shut you out when it comes to emotions or sexually. Okay, and so I feel like the complex here is your mind, your understanding, your experience in the matrix world has one understanding, which is this person needs to express themselves, needs to do this, that, and the other, which in reality is a truth, although this person is walking their own journey of enlightenment, and their challenge, based on their experience and their history, is one of finding a way through building their self-esteem. So they have to release a lot of things that are challenging them in order for them to be comfortable, for them to communicate emotions, for them to be able to be in their natural state. And so I feel like this person's natural state is one in which they are quite cold or just not very good at expressing themselves. And so they could be sitting in the exact same emotions as other people here and seem like just very stoic or nothing really happening here. And so I don't know whether you've communicated with this person, this wild yak here, if nothing makes a lot of sense, if this person's even communicated anything to you in regards to what they want for the future, okay, or how they feel exactly and where this is going. And if you guys intend on coming together to like have a new beginning here with this person. So I feel you intuitively feel something. I feel you intuitively maybe see something. I feel intuitively there's all these signs, symbols, and energetic understandings. But mentally, logically, and maybe physically with their 3D eyes, this person isn't doing anything here. And so we keep getting rejected, hurt, and I feel as though you might be defensive or feeling wounded or hurt. And so what Spirit is showing here, because the question was about what can we do? Okay, but if we continue to feel as though we need to settle in any situation here that doesn't support us and what we need, then we need to relinquish this relationship, because we can't just settle and pretend like we're okay, which will be difficult. And I think a lot of you guys are having a difficult time doing this because this is not necessarily the right answer. The right answer would be how it is we're engaged here. And this is truly understanding what it is we need to do in order to help be in an authentic state here for this person to be able to learn what they're needing to learn in order for them to find a way through. Okay, for them to find a way through without us taking things personal or saying, okay, I'm going to surrender everything that I need in order to settle here, because that's not right either. So both parties are learning this engagement, if you will. So I feel your energy coming through as this goddess energy here, okay? Being able to express yourself sexually, communicatively, emotionally. And I also feel with this goddess, you're sort of leading this engagement. And so I feel like this person is learning bit by bit by your interaction, your ability to communicate greater truths. And slowly but surely, this person is coming into a state of being able to release anything that has them believing that they cannot warm up. And so we might feel uncomfortable when we have to warm up to someone that is cold, or we have to, and we don't have to do anything, but if we have to continuously sort of be in an energy that we believe is causing more pain here than it is causing any sort of progression, then we start to focus on that. And so what Spirit is saying here is that there's a reason why you and this person have kind of been brought together here in order to help heal certain child traumas here, certain things from within yourself and within this person. And so both of you guys are needing to sort of work through this self-esteem. And so although you're this goddess energy and you can crisscross the energy, this goddess energy here is one that needs to understand a lesson here of not settling, not seeing someone's reaction or response or engagement towards them as something that reflects back to them, like they're lacking or that they're not deserving in any way here, or that they need to settle in any sort of way. But this goddess energy needs to look within themselves here in order to see past this if they want to, or just move on to another connection. So if this goddess can move on to another connection and not settle and do this, then that's absolutely fine. But I feel this goddess cannot move on. Okay, cannot move on because there's a lesson here that keeps this goddess stuck on this person. Okay, and this goddess wants to move forward, wants to have growth, wants to start something here with this person, and this person is challenged and has hurt them. And so I feel like that although this person is coming through here as this navigating these cold waters here for such a long time, it's almost easy to doubt that this shark is going to find some natural state in order to warm up, in order to navigate and know which way to go. But the goddess energy that I'm feeling here, person, is needing to trust. Okay, trust, and the only reason why the goddess is frustrated or hurt is because of a egoic belief that this goddess was experienced to hang on to, that this person, if they don't express themselves, if they don't do this, that, and the other, then it is reflecting back to this goddess some sort of insecurity, some sort of lack, some sort of not good enough energy. And so I feel like these two are building an understanding amongst each other here that's releasing a lot of things that are not necessarily true when it comes to objective truth here. And so with this healer of the ages, I really feel like both parties really are learning to heal deep, deep wounds here and open up the heart space here from an unconditional loving way. Because unconditionally loving does not mean I love unconditionally, except when you can't express yourself, or except only when you can physically do this or that. So unconditionally loving to self also doesn't say I'm going to sit and suffer here and not get appreciated. Okay, but the authentic self is going to say, who needs to hear or see any validation? Is it the ego self, or is it my pure authentic self? Because I can still be unconditionally loving and give love. Okay, no, this doesn't mean you have to put your life on hold or on a halt. However, you can engage here with this person, but this is all about how do we release pains and allow things to move forward in a way here that is peaceful, that is for the greatest, highest good. Because if we stick around putting up with something that we feel is causing us pain, then we haven't learned the lesson of our own self-love and supporting what it is that we need. We're putting up with unhealthy relationships or people. But if we try to move on here and we feel as though there's something that we're not quite understanding and is still being pulled back to this person, this shark person, which I'll call, because there's a greater lesson here to be learned. There's further healing needs to be learned. It's all about connecting back to unconditional love in this heart space, seeing past the mind and the experience of what we were taught. And so this place of true wisdom is a place we need to explore, which is someone's trauma, someone's way of being does not impact anything of my self-worth. And so when this energy is pure and true and flowing in this way, and we communicate honestly, openly, and from an unhurt place, from a healed place, this person also starts to understand clearly certain parts of their own wounding and starts to clear up any sort of distortions and traumas. But I feel like it is slow, because I feel like both people are slow, not just one. Both people are slow, because the ego needs to be addressed on both sides. And on the side of the goddess, which I feel is leading the way here, the ego part is the part that believes in the story of the narrative of the mind, which is I need to see, I need to hear this, that, and the other. And so we believe that narrative and hang on to it. And then it causes pain when we don't see it. We feel defensive, or we feel maybe attacked, or we feel threatened, or we just don't like the situation with the skunk. Or we can not take it personally and be impacted so much here, and also know that we're not needing to settle, that we can have progress, that this person can progress, that their healing is taking time, that their love or their feeling could be somewhere within, but just completely carried differently. And so we could communicate a truth. We can understand it's about somebody who might feel more comfortable in their cave rather than sort of navigating new territory. And we can observe this, but we can remain sort of in the heart space here with a true knowing and understanding here in order to build a healthy foundation here and a trust between you and this person, rather than accusing or threatening or telling this person that you need this or you need that, when you really don't need those things. The ego needs those things. Okay, and if you feel you really do need those things, then we're still an ego. And so we need to examine that, and that's fine, because that's us on our path. That's us on our path. So now's not the time. So we keep peeling back those layers. Why do I need this? What exactly is this going to do for me, my authentic self? Or is this validation to confirm an ego self? Because then I can go find that in any sort of matrix relationship. Am I expanding? Am I growing in my understanding of this? Am I detaching from ego? Is my intention pure from an unconditional heart space, or are there conditions with my love? Because when we're learning about true unconditional love, that is coming from a place where we carry no ego. There is no sort of expectation other than us seeing a greater truth. And if somebody is someplace else on their journey, it is accepting that that person is where they're at. And us being able to do whatever we can in order to support what it is that we need. Okay, so as long as we understand that concept, then we've made some headway. So I know this isn't going to be everyone's thing. People are going to leave comments because they don't know how to detach from their ego to justify what is healthy, and that's fine. You know, because there is no right or wrong. But if we need to justify certain things, I'm asking to question that intention. That's justifying and propping up ego. Because we can go then be happy elsewhere. Okay, this is solely for those who are on this journey of understanding this, who know that they're having to walk a path of enlightenment, and they're being very pulled and stuck to another soul here that is very challenged. And there is no way forward except through understanding this lesson. And so these two are stuck. And I don't feel one energy is stuck. I feel both energies are stuck. And so in order to have a new beginning and expand, both parties need to understand their involvement here. Okay? And this never means that this goddess has to settle or that this goddess has to stay in an unhealthy relationship. If that's your understanding, then that's still ego. This is saying that this goddess has to connect to a pure place of releasing any sort of understanding that someone else has to do or say or be in a certain energy in order to validate, to justify, or make them feel a certain way. Because nobody is going to make you feel any which way unless you are an ego. And that's the truth. Okay, so 3 of Wands, expansion. In order for things to move forward here, 3 Wands, King of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, stability, security, commitment, long-term vision, 3 Swords in the reverse, pain, I need to heal, suffering, separation, trauma, the Magician, more Virgo energy, Gemini, manifestation, timing, communication, having all the tools in order to manifest something here. 6 of Swords in reverse, stuck in 5 Swords, an inability to move on, to be able to manifest something here. Ace of Pentacles, there's the manifestation, the new beginning, something solid, worth having. There's the Knight of Cups, there's emotions, expressing how we feel. And here's the 7 Swords coming out of deceptive energy, or energy in which we're not being completely honest or upfront, or something in which we're just keeping to ourselves. And this is coming out of this energy, communicating openly and honestly about how we feel. So what is this message? And there's 2 Swords. Both of these energies are sitting in the 2 Swords. The goddess energy feels like that energy cannot move forward, wants expansion, wants to move forward, and is feeling very stuck. And it feels to the goddess energy, that's the shark energy, which I keep calling the other energy here, is not making any moves, any honest truth, isn't moving forward, isn't having a new beginning, isn't committing, isn't planting security, isn't manifesting anything here. It's kind of stuck. It's not moving. And Spirit is saying it's true, but because there's a greater pain and suffering here for both. And so this is why we're stuck here, because this needs to be addressed, which is the heart space. So we can lay the proper roots here and really connect to a knowing in the heart space. Not a knowing of the mind with the owl and an experience of what we were told is the right way to feel or see, but to actually connect to a heart space here that still needs to be reviewed and healed from childhood or just from past experiences that keeps us sort of stuck in a 5 swords with this person. So this true understanding and connecting is what's going to allow there to be a manifestation of something between the both of you guys. And I do feel like this is about getting self-empowered to create this manifestation, because we have all the tools here in order to create this manifestation. But in order to create a manifestation, everything that sort of is keeping it from not moving forward or from not growing or from not manifesting needs to be understood, released, detached, reviewed. We can't be stuck in this energy. We can't have unhealed energy. We have to do whatever we need to do here in order to have the manifestation, however long it takes in order to have movement here, to grow this pentacle. And then both of you guys are able to express openly, not from a place of hiding, not from a place of untruth or trying to keep our emotions to ourselves. This is coming forward, being honest, or we can be honest about how we feel and expressing and showing to another exactly how we feel. No longer trapped here by either a hurt that's made us feel like we had to be deceptive, or a hurt that's made us feel like we can't be honest with our feelings, or a hurt here that keeps us stuck from expressing the truth. And so both parties, I should say, the goddess and the shark, need to always check their intention, need to always understand to express their emotions from a place, from the heart space here. Because just because we might communicate how we're feeling, we might still not be tying it back to where are these feelings originating from. Are these feelings coming from the pure self, the unconditional love, and the knowing in my heart? Or are these feelings coming from an experience I've had in however many years you've been living here, from an understanding of an intellect? Because those are two different things. And I think you're most likely on a journey of going past the intellect to tie into a heart knowing, which is completely different. It's completely different. Okay, now this doesn't mean that we, again, put ourselves in a position here that makes us feel worse. It's not about gaslighting at all. But this is putting us in a position to really question our true intention, to really question, are we really loving from an unconditional place here? What within me here might need to be reviewed that's impacting my self-esteem, in which is making me feel like this other person needs to do something different, be something different in order to bring me some different sort of feeling that I'm not truly feeling already. Because I think both of you guys are in some sort of untruth when it comes to your feelings. One is the shark might be suppressing and cold and just traumatized, incapable of expressing self. Okay, like just this is how they've lived their life and they understand it. And the goddess is untrue here with feelings, because this is a feeling that stemmed from an experience of an understanding of how things have to be or should be based on matrix and indoctrination and beliefs, rather than really connecting with an unconditional love in a heart space of a knowing. Because then this goddess wouldn't be as threatened. And then this goddess could kind of still make do with this shark in some way. Find a place for this shark in this goddess's world that isn't painful for her to carry, wherever that may be. Now, this doesn't mean she has to commit for a lifetime here with this shark, but she has to learn this lesson. And I say has to, but it's really about the spiritual journey and being on a certain point where we need to experience certain things for us to gain better understanding. And so once this goddess understands this, then there's movement. Okay, so let's get final message here for pile 1. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. What an interesting message, Spirit. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. Pile 1. We have the Queen of Pentacles now, and we have the King of Pentacles earlier, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. There we have the Four of Wands, which is coming together, union, reaching a milestone here. That's the marriage, that's commitment with the Queen and King of Pentacles. That's also mother, father energy. Here she's holding this pentacle. That's the manifestation. 1111. This is giving me twin flames. And there we have the High Priestess. That's an intuitive knowing. That's not an intellectual knowing. That's connecting with the divine, connecting with our intuition, having a deeper understanding that transcends our mind. And there's the King of Pentacles, mother, father energy, connecting. There's the Two Swords, the indecision, the need to act. I'm going to pull the Moon because it's revealed itself here in the reverse. Coming out of the moonlight, that's that Seven of Swords in reverse. And we'll take these two. And the bottom of the deck, and we have the Nine Cups, emotional fulfillment for self, getting one's wish. And we have the Page of Pentacles. There's that opportunity. There's that new beginning. And here's the owl sitting behind this pentacle, this new beginning, this opportunity to expand. And here's the Seven of Swords in reverse, coming clean. So I will paint this picture for you again, but it's saying the same thing. Whichever side you fall on, and I have a feeling your goddess energy. You want to be emotionally happy, and your situation is infuriating because your person seems slow, cold, and uncommunicative. And it could be intellectually the case. Okay, but in order for you to find happiness and be at peace, whether it's going to be with this person or not, which I feel it will be, there is a lesson we're needing to learn. And this is about how can I be emotionally happy without someone else having to do or be something else. So if this person is sitting here in a crossroads and I can't see which way to go, I have to trust my intuition. And I have to pull myself out of this moonlight energy. That this person might be confused, might be unclear, might not be certain. I have to dive in deep to the subconscious here. And my subconscious shadow, where my fears sit, is the only thing I can review. It's the only thing I could be honest with and review. And so, although I see this person as being stuck, although I see this person as the one who's the hang-up, there's something within me that is also supporting the stuckness. And this is me not addressing that I don't need this person to move forward or to do or say anything at all. That I can lean on my intuition of a deeper knowing to still find my own happiness aside from this person. And when I connect with this, then there's a shift of energy here. Then I can manifest this new beginning. Then I'm no longer in this sort of Seven Swords energy, which is about deception, deceiving myself. Okay, well, we don't deceive ourselves on purpose. No one wants to lie to themselves. We lie to ourselves when we're in deep shadow. We lie to ourselves when we don't see us operating out of ego. We lie to self when we are leaning on our intellect based on experience and matrix. But this is asking you to do something completely different. And so what this does is break free the energy. And I see a Queen and a King of Pentacles coming together to have union here. A mother-father energy, stability, long-term, marriage, union. Okay? And I feel like the only person here that can allow the energy to move is you. And I'm saying you, either which way you've fallen, because you're the only sort of manifester, master magician in your own world, to really dive into the subconscious, to really pull out the things in the shadows here, which is, where are my intentions? How have I been acting out of shadow? How has the ego been running the show? Have I been unconditionally loving? What does my inner knowing say? And can I be emotionally happy without this person being or doing anything different? Because if I can't find my Nine of Cups, then I know that I'm depending on this person to do something, and that's ego. Okay, so both of you guys are kind of mirroring each other here. This is what I have, pile number 1. I hope this helped you. If you're not understanding this concept, then it might be that we're needing a little bit more work. We might intellectually understand it, but haven't reached it yet through an inner standing. And that, I feel, is where you're at, actually. And if this doesn't make any sense to you, then this is most likely not your pile. You could just move on. Go date someone else who can talk to you and do whatever it is you want them to do. You want them to be open and communicate? Then there's many people like this. Okay, this specific person is on a soul journey with this other specific person about soul growth, about finding their self-esteem, about finding true happiness from an unconditional heart place, not matrix love. That's a dime a dozen, not this soul lesson. Okay, so I'll see you guys there. Bye-bye. Hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 2. You guys picked this bug with the wings. Kind of looks like a dragonfly, but I don't believe it is. Kind of looks like a butterfly, but I don't believe it is either. But either which way, this is what you picked. And we're looking at what the heck is the problem with this person. Okay, so if you skip the intro, I'm going to just repeat it here because I think it's very important that we understand. And there is no problem with anyone at all. Okay, there's no problem. Everyone's at a different place on their journey of spirituality, of growth. Some people might still be in matrix, some people in shadow, some people carrying the false self, and other people closer to their truest state of being. Okay, so there's no right or wrong answer of where we're at. And so when we understand this, we're able to accept everyone and everything kind of as they are and know that only God can judge. And we are not beings that can sit and pass judgment. Okay, but this also means we are responsive in our own world and how we move forward and deal with certain things. This doesn't mean we gaslight ourselves into saying everything is perfect and fine. This is us truly understanding the meaning of enlightenment and that we are whole and complete regardless of what anyone else does or says. If someone else's actions make us feel in any sort of way that's bad, hurt, suffering, etc., then it is solely because we ourselves are still not understanding a full concept here that we are whole, complete, and we don't need any validation, confirmation from anyone else. Okay, we don't need it. We're still driven by ego. Only the ego needs to feel and see certain things in order to support and prop it up. Now, this doesn't take away that you might feel hurt, that you might be having feelings of that aren't good. Okay, these are true feelings that you have here, but what this is questioning then is for you to look at what are your thoughts that are stemming these feelings from within. Okay, that's where there's an untruth. That thought is based on our experience. That thought is programming. That thought is driven from ego. Okay, I need this person to do this. I feel this way because I'm thinking this and that and the other. That's all confirming, validating, living through ego. The mind. Okay, the mind. And so when we connect to the heart, we don't need to support and validate anything at all externally because we know we're pure beings, completely whole and fulfilled, regardless of how someone else shows up. So, in saying all this, there's obviously a disconnect here between you and the person on your mind. And we're going to look at what's this biggest challenge here. Okay, between you and this person, what's their problem and what's your problem? So this might be triggering for you to hear that you have problems too. And I say problem loosely. Okay, but this is the dynamic between you and this person. And why is it challenging? Why is there a struggle here? How can we overcome this? Okay, how can we see it differently in order to move forward? We might not like the answer. We might not understand it fully, but this is what Spirit is putting forward here for us to review. and really sit with our intention to see if this resonates. Okay, so we have expert, keyword, and we have this 2-passenger vehicle with a sign that says yield. A rear view in a car. Okay, expert. We have surrender. I can release my need to control. And we have by the book, 11. 11's a master number. Divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going. By the book is giving me Hierophant energy. This is also kind of giving me ego energy here because it's a belief we might have in having to toe the line or live up to someone else's expectation here. Who's the someone else? I don't know. Our families, societies, a belief that we sort of created on our own. We have 2 with yin. This is divine feminine energy. Receptive energy. Surrender fear. Let go of fearful stories you are telling yourself. Stay in the moment. Focus on solutions and celebrate every baby step forward. And we have the hermit. Light attribute seeks solitude to focus intently on inner self. Sorry, on inner life. I'll read that again. Light attributes seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life. Serves personal creativity. Shadow attributes withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need, including self. Virgo energy. Taurus energy. Mother, light attributes, nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life. Shadow attributes, smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. Persistence, beautiful, I love that energy. And we have the hermit crab, hermit coming through again, Cancer with the crab. And we have lead with number 20. 20 is the number 2, which is about balance, duality, and choices with the black and white. I'm getting the masculine, feminine energy. Okay. And we have ocean. Get this tidal wave of emotions here. And we have unknown, and we also have test. Look at that. Almost looking out to the unknown world. And we have 65 with scry mirror. 65 is the number 11. So now we have 11, 11. Okay, that is sometimes signifies my twin flame connection. So you could resonate for those of you guys on that journey as this being your pile, if it does resonate. And we have number 4 with the eternal child. Okay, let's put that over here. And we'll put that over here. And we have the world with 29, number 11 coming out yet again for the 3rd time. So 11 is also the number 2. And 2 is coming through with the duality and balance and choices. 2 is also partnership. 43, man holding a coin, or the number 7. Okay, man holding a coin. And we have the eagle, air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, eagle. And we have the pygmy marmoset. Pygmy marmoset. Okay, and it says, due to its small size, the pygmy marmoset has more predators than other monkeys. Oh, it's a monkey. To escape birds of prey, it moves very slowly, making it virtually undetectable. It can also leap up to 4.87 meters, 16 feet, and run spirally up tree trunks. It is so fast that it's hard to keep track of. Okay, and we have destiny, the dark and the light, and the story of this. in the guidebook is these two that wanted to come together, and the council didn't allow these two to come together in that lifetime, and they appealed the council. They came back to sort of challenge in order to be able to make things work to come together, and found a way to get approval to be together here. So this is an interesting energy. So let me sit here with this energy and see what comes through. Okay, so specifically we asked, what is this person's problem, but specifically the dynamic between you and this person that isn't working, and why isn't it working, and how can we see it differently in order for things to change. Okay, and we can only change our own mindset, how we engage, what we do. We can't change other people. So this is most likely going to be what you're sort of needing to do if you want change with this person. But you don't have to do anything. Okay, you might just want to understand it. But whether you do anything here is going to solely be up to you. So let me sit here with this. I do want to read the scry mirror. What's interesting that this deck is so far the only one that's wanting to be read today, but I will do this. It says scry mirror. There is this, oh my gosh, I can't read. There is this idea that to see beyond is something only someone with special powers and gifts can achieve. Well, you have those special powers and gifts as well. You will be surprised what will appear to you when you allow yourself to look and listen. Okay, wow, this message is very, very clear and strong here, okay? But it's very layered and there's lots here. So I'm going to try to do my very best to explain this in a way that makes sense. And like, I don't feel these readings are going to be for everyone at all. So if this isn't your message, then go check out another pile. Don't force it to fit. I feel in this connection specifically, I feel as though both of you guys are walking through your path, like I say, spiritual path of figuring out self. And I feel like this connection to me is still at an early-ish stage of the development of the person I'm reading for, because I do feel predominantly one energy here, and you'll have to determine if this is you or the other person, but I do feel this is your energy. And I feel like you're learning to trust in the universe in order to receive a blessing here. But we're at the early stages of what this looks like. And so we need to release control. And this is difficult to do because I feel as though we're in the early stages of walking through a spiritual awakening, which means we surrender everything we've known, everything we were brought up to believe, societal sort of beliefs, indoctrination, traditional beliefs, what our parents said they want us to be, what we thought was the right thing to do. All of these things completely get wiped away when we examine ourselves from a complete neutral place. And this doesn't happen overnight. Okay, this takes time. And you're introduced to this. And so this is difficult because the mind, over however many years, you could be your whole life like this. Well, you most likely are your whole life because I see you introduced to this sort of concept. But who knows? You could be 50, you could be 20, you could be 80. Okay, you could be anything at all here, but the longer you've been obviously understanding this matrix world, the more difficult it could be for you to break out of this. Okay, and I don't know, I mean, it could be equally as difficult for an 80-year-old as a 20-year-old, so that's sort of irrelevant. But my point being is that we're at a point with this connection that's being brought to our attention. And this experience of this connection is something very, it's greater than just this connection. It is one in which the universe is getting us to experience ourselves much differently than we have in the past. We have a dualistic way of seeing things. Okay? Them, me, out there, inside of me, this or that, negative, positive. So it is very polarizing. And so although, yes, there is feminine and negative, or feminine and positive energy, how am I saying this? Feminine and masculine energy. There's also positive polarity and negative polarity, but it's not necessarily bad or good. It is one's positive and one's negative. Okay, so one pushes and one pulls, and there is an understanding we have of there needing to be, let me put this in different words because I think this might be difficult for us to understand. So if we see them versus us mentality, if we are still feeling separate from the world around us, then we will carry on a burden of them versus us, and us being removed or disconnected from source and spirit. And so this lesson is us learning a greater truth, that we are all one. Okay, that we are all one here. And so I feel like in order to experience this, we are going through this test, if you will. Okay, but I feel like we're in early stages here. And so I feel like you're learning to allow things to happen in a way that doesn't make you feel like you need to take control. So we need to surrender. Okay, and if you need to take a break from this connection or pull away, then that's absolutely fine. Okay, but I feel like this lesson is one that we cannot just stop. Like, we can't stop this connection between you and this person because you're guided to go through this. Okay, you're guided to go through this lesson here. So the universe is diverting you with this yield towards this person and this experience for a very good reason. Okay, so it's not specifically about this person per se, but it is the lesson we learn in this connection with this person. And so we're exploring a different part of us here. And so I feel like your emotions are probably very overwhelming. And I feel like Spirit is wanting you to persist in hanging tough in this understanding that at one point this is going to become very clear to you that you will achieve what you're needing to achieve, but this will come over time. I do feel as though part of you is going to connect to your spiritual gifts. Your third eye will open. Whatever your spiritual gifts are will come in as a result of you opening your consciousness here through this connection, seeing things differently, and you not giving up on going through this experience and this understanding, learning about unconditional love here, being supportive of yourself and nurturing of yourself. So there's a lot of self-reflection. There's also a lot of withdrawal from society or even from this connection that you might have to do and you might not want to do. So it could be that the universe pulls this person for some time apart from you. You might be in separation. You might not like it. You might feel very alone and you might not understand what's going on. And so you're alone here in order to figure out this greater truth, but know that you won't always be alone here. But you're needing to understand what is the 3D matrix world that you're hanging on to or seeing from a dualistic sort of mindset to what is a greater truth of interconnectedness here. Because there's a whole world outside of how you're perceiving things. There's a whole new sort of way of seeing things that isn't following in your belief of how you might have perceived things in the past here. And so if we resist this experience, it is one because of fear, and fear manifests itself in different ways here through us. Okay, so we have to know how our own ego and how our own self is taking that fear that we have and masking it or dressing it up. Because we might not even recognize we have fear. But anytime there's a need to control something or someone or a situation, that is stemmed from fear. Always, if we tie it back, we have to do the self-reflection. So do we need control in this situation? Because I feel like there's something out of control here. Something out of control, okay, for sure, for this group. And we don't like it. And we're being put in that awkward position here in order for us to see something greater. And so we first need to acknowledge that we're in fear if we need to have control. And because this is a lesson about being receptive, releasing and relinquishing control to the universe to allow what is to happen. And so our understanding of how things have to be and how they have to unfold and what we traditionally believed or understood is only a construct of beliefs that have been put together in programming, which causes duality and separation. And so if you don't want to be separated from this person, then there's a need to understand this. There's a need to connect to the forever sort of child within you, that energy cannot die, that gets reincarnated for infinity. This eternal child connects back to source. It doesn't matter what it experiences in any of the lifetimes. The true core and being of this eternal child is one of purity, truth, oneness, and wholeness. It doesn't carry any of its social constructs here or dogmas or anything else. Even when it comes to relationship, it doesn't have certain beliefs. So as the universe sort of pulls you down this direction, it is to wake you up so you can examine everything, your beliefs, how you've been living your life. What is the matrix? What are you able to sort of release here in order for you to come closer to yourself and to be very persistent and nurturing during this period of time of yourself, to be loving of yourself, because I feel you're going to birth something here. Okay, so not only are you going to birth your authentic self in your purest state here, but I feel like your persistence here is going to be one of your truest self coming forward. And so you will get here and you will achieve what you need. But we need to be very clear first about the pure, honest state of being before we get what we want, which I feel could certainly be this person or this connection. But why can't we come together with this person or land this sort of situation or manifest or achieve yet is because we haven't learned this. We haven't taken the time. We're still driven out of fear. We're still wanting to control. We're still doing what others want us to be or do what others tell us we need to do or what we believe is the right thing to do. And so we're towing this line. And so there's a need to balance the masculine, feminine energy, specifically be very in tune with our receptive energy. And when we're too much in the masculine of having to attain and control, and question that we don't know anything at all. So if we're in expert mentality, it is because of a story of an experience of the matrix that seems very real to us, is very black and white. Is very black and white. Okay, it's like the mind understands something, and so it thinks it's the expert, and that's what's throwing us off. The mind doesn't know anything at all when it comes to spiritual, soulful lessons like this. It defies all logic. Logic is completely out the window. Nothing makes sense. And so the more this is not making sense, the more Spirit is pushing you towards a direction of release so you can understand this lesson. Because I feel like there's a lot here that doesn't fully make sense here. Okay, and so I'm not sure what this little pygmy marmoset or pygmy marmoset is all about, because I didn't really get too much from this, but everything else is sort of coming through here in that channeling. So I'm going to pull some tarot to see if we could see some more here. Let's see. Spirit, clear and concise message for pile number 2. Can we see some more here? What am I missing? What does pile number 2 need to know? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Queen of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. So heavy Virgo energy. What's pile 2 needing to know here in regards to the challenge and the problem between them and this person and this connection? Clear and concise message. What have I missed? Can we dive in a little deeper? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm truly blessed. Thank you so much. Okie dokie. 5 of Cups. I feel like we are sad, you know, and we could certainly be separated from someone at this time. And so the 5 of Cups is we're looking at the things that don't work and what's sad about it, rather than putting our energy towards what could be and what will make us feel better. Okay, so we don't have to sit there in sadness looking at what fell apart or what didn't work. Now we can sit here for a bit, you know, we can sit here, or we can accept this and then go in a little deeper and gain a better understanding as to why we're feeling this way. Why are we feeling this way? Well, we can certainly feel this way, it's justified, but we can ask ourselves and look deeper, because the true self is never feeling lack. The true self is never feeling at a loss. The true self is never feeling guilt or shame. The only time we feel this way is because we need to dig in deeper and see where this is stemming from. A belief, something we carry, an understanding we have, a need for control. That's all egoic. 6 of Wands, egoic. So we're dealing with ego and we're wanting to have victory, you know, but we need to question, what is victory in this case? What is true victory in this case? Is victory in this case attaining someone? Okay, and us thinking, okay, well, I won, we were successful. Or is true victory the transformation here of a true understanding that I don't need this person or anyone else for the rest of my life in order for me to connect to the divine, to understand my great purpose and worth? Because if I come together with this person, eventually I'm going to feel 5 cups again. When it doesn't work, if this person leaves, if things change, and we don't need to ever be 5 cups. We connect with the divine. We connect with the eternal child, the greater truth. That's where the true victory is. Okay, but I do feel like Spirit is saying you're going to have what you want here. But we're needing to really check ourselves and this ego. 3 of Wands. So we feel like we're stuck here. Okay, we feel like we can't move forward in this connection. We can't have growth in this connection, or things have fallen apart because we might be separated, or things didn't go very well here with the person. And so it's stuck. And the 10 of Cups. We see that we could have had a beautiful future here, and we could have attained it with this person, and it didn't happen. And this is all we're seeing was the full 10 cups fulfillment that were spilled, that didn't happen, the full potential with this person that can't move forward, that cannot happen. And so we sit here in this energy. And so although it's not happening right now, there is a very specific reason why this isn't happening right now. And it all ties back to how it is that you are emotionally investing in it falling apart. In other words, said another way, if we put a lot of our emotional weight in the fact that something can't come together or hasn't come together, we have to start looking at ourselves and why we feel the way we feel about it, because that's where the answer is. That's what's going to make things feel better, us feel better, and things turn and things move. That's what's going to be successful, is once we look at why we feel the way we feel. You know, and it's natural, yes, to feel saddened when we experience something that we could see a full potential. Okay, but what is normal? and what's normal for us. And is it coming from an egoic place, a need to control? Or is it really coming from a beautiful, loving place saying, I got to meet someone beautiful and loving and experience this person. I don't need to have my way with the future here with this person in order for me to love from an unconditional heart place. But if I do feel this way, why is it that I feel this way? What's really driving me? What's really pulling me to this person? Why do I really feel saddened by things falling apart and not moving forward and this potential not fulfilling itself? What do I need? Do I need to learn about my own independence, making myself happy? Or am I an ego? What do I consider victory here and why? Is victory me gaining what I want with this person? If I want control and I gain control, will that make me happy? And why is that the answer here? Four Swords, reflection. I need to do the Hermit. And so why is this happening between you and this person? I feel you're apart. I feel this person's hurt you. I feel you feel sad. You feel 3 Swords and 5 Cups. You don't want to be apart from this person. I get it. But now we can't focus on the why we're apart. And we have to really look at self and say, why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling? Not reject it, not suppress it, not gaslight ourselves, but really sit with that pain and dig into an understanding of it, to be very honest about it. Was I wanting control? Was I envisioning a future here that it didn't happen? Whose vision was this? Was this all about satisfying myself? Stemmed from an ego. This is the victory I wanted at all costs. Okay, regardless of what this person wanted or needed or where this person was at. So we reflect there with the pain, no matter what the truth is here, we have to reflect on it and play devil's advocate. We sit as an observer, not judging, but completely sitting with sort of everything here in order to really understand. 7 Swords. So yeah, we need to come out of some understanding we have that is not true. And so we can lie to self. We can sabotage self. And the sabotage of self here is in us not sitting with a greater truth, because fear is louder. And so we might say, no, I wasn't wanting to control. How could it be wrong to love someone or want to come together? Okay, well, how it happens then, should it matter? Or were we sort of needing to massage this in a way that made us feel like we were under control? So I feel like there is some fear we're not acknowledging from within us. There's some greater truth we're not seeing from within us. And so I feel like we're lying to self. And so I feel as though this is going to become very apparent to you, maybe after this reading, who knows? It might take a while. You might listen to this and have no idea what the hell I'm talking about at first, and then come back maybe and say, okay, I could kind of see here a greater truth because I sat with it for a while here. And so one truth is that you don't need to be 5 cups over anything or anyone. Okay, and that pain is only created when we have an understanding or a belief that other people can cause us pain or situations cause us pain because we need to attain someone or something more. But when we really connect back to our purest state, we don't see duality. We see everyone already connected, already one. We're already with this person. The ego thinks of division. The ego thinks it needs to attain. The ego thinks it needs to control. The ego has an idea of how it should happen. But we're already one. We're already one. But the ego needs it in physical form. The ego needs to touch and feel. And so I feel like the persistence here is Spirit saying, persist on this journey and exploring this understanding, because you will attain what it is that you want. Okay? But I feel like we have to walk the truth, the objective truth here, and we have to allow the universe to give to us in a way that we can receive a greater truth, however the universe wants to give it to us, and detach from any sort of beliefs of how things should happen or what needs to happen here, and understand that there is no duality. that there is no wrong or right. Okay, there's only negative and positive polarity in everything. And one's not wrong and one's not right. Once we understand energy, High Priestess. So we connect with our intuition. And again, I feel like there's creative energy coming through. So either psychic energy or you tapping into some sort of creative energy that's supposed to be forming from within you, tying back to spirit, to your intuition, to your psychic abilities. So there's a knowing that there's something greater here, that we don't need to see it in the physical form. If we do feel we need to see it in physical form, this is the ego that's saying this, justifying this. The ego is going to be loud. It's going to want to justify, to see results here and the now, and make every single story, because it knows us intimately, how to trick us to believe and validate and confirm all of the stories that we've told ourselves. Okay, it knows how to do it subtly. It knows how to do it in a way that you start to convince yourself. So we have to always check our intention. You know, always check our intention here. So let's see. We'll get a little bit deeper here for pile 2. What is pile 2 needing to know? Any advice, further information, anything I've missed for pile number 2? Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Thank you so much. These 2 or 3? 2. Okay. Take the one that revealed itself with the 2 swords. Look at the black and the white horses. Duality. Essentially, I feel you're just having to really sit with an ego self here and shed the ego. Okay, you're having a spiritual awakening. You're connecting to your spiritual self. You're seeing things differently because of this connection. The moon. Yeah. Okay. And look at under that, High Priestess. Oh my goodness. Moon and High Priestess, you guys. Okie dokie. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Swords. King of Cups in reverse. 3 of Cups in reverse. And Death in reverse. This is the spiritual awakening. This is the shedding of the ego. This is Dark Night of the Soul. Okay. I'm expecting these messages to be so intense, but pile number 2. I wish I did this reading more justice here. And I don't know what's with my energy today, but I'm sorry. I do owe you a better sort of communication here than what I've been delivering. I still don't know what this marmoset is, but this is what's coming through, okay? I feel like you're going through a spiritual awakening is what I feel like really connecting to an authentic place here of pure consciousness. Because I feel like up until now, you might have been just living in Matrix and your relationships could have been very superficial, you know? And I'm not calling you sort of a superficial person, but 97% of society or more have these superficial type relationships, which aren't connecting on a soulful spiritual understanding of unconditional love from a heart space. Okay, this is what we see in the movies called Hollywood love. Our understanding of what love should be and what we are made to believe what certain things are supposed to look like and feel like because of what we're told and what we believe. And so we're supposed to understand that that is all a construct of imagination and illusion, ego, all of it, everything. Okay, the only true thing here is pure consciousness. You are a whole being, complete, perfect, without anyone or anything. You don't need anyone, you don't need anything here, but we need to find a way to be at peace with this and truly understand this, which is what's happening in your experience. I don't think you see it yet. I think this suffering is happening here in this connection for you to gain this sort of understanding. So I feel you don't understand what's going on. You're needing to sit with your shadow self, your subconscious self. Divine Feminine is all about being in receptive energy. allowing the universe to bring to you what it is you're supposed to receive without the need to control, without the need for you to do anything except for surrender. Because we might feel helpless here, okay? But know that you are about to receive. You are balancing your energies, and you're learning how to give up and surrender to the universe what it is that it's trying to show you. But we're tapping into the subconscious, our shadow, so that we can tie back to our intuition, a greater, deeper knowing, which comes with us opening our third eye, getting in tune with our psychic ability, trusting in the unknown, the things we can't see in the matrix world. It's not material things. It's not physical things like people in front of us or physical things happening in the 3D. It's all about energy. Okay, now this doesn't mean for you to lie or convince yourself that a 5D connection is enough for you. This is about you understanding and knowing that in the 5D you're already connected to this person because you've tapped into a greater understanding and a knowing. But first we need to release a whole bunch of misunderstandings and things in our subconscious here that are clouding our judgment. So things are moving very slowly here. Okay, if you feel it's not, things are moving. They might feel stuck. They might have fallen apart. You might have not heard from this person. It hurts. And I feel like why things are still kind of stuck or very slow is because you're still releasing. You are releasing with this death, Scorpio energy, the old self. Okay, the self that thinks you need someone, the self that believes ideologies and programming and certain beliefs here that you still carry. And it's fine. There's no judgment here. But this has to happen naturally. The death has to be in the upright. We have to release certain concepts and certain parts of self here that are sitting in our subconscious here that needs to be reviewed and re-examined in order for us to be reborn as a new sort of energy here of an enlightened being. So we need to confront all of our shadows. We need to be honest. Okay, and so I feel like we could certainly be not knowing what it is we're supposed to do here and still sitting in this dualistic sort of energy. And this is okay, as long as we understand that when we tap into something here that's a greater knowing, we need to confront it. Okay, we need to confront it no matter how scary it might be in order for us to make progress and movement, for us not to be stuck. Okay, because I feel like this is how you're going to find your emotional happiness, your true wish here with the 9 cups. So your person is coming through here, someone who's emotionally unavailable right now. And I do feel as though you guys have not reconciled or come together at this time because there is this lesson that's needing to be learned here first. Okay, if you're resonating with this pile. And so once you start making progress here, this doesn't mean you have to be a Buddha or completely enlightened. This just means once you start making headway in this ego death and this spiritual journey, once you start making headway, surrendering bit by bit, opening up to receptive energy, being honest about, am I really needing control? Is this stemmed from fear? Now I can see it. I can see the fear here in me a bit, you know. I could see the ego wanting to attain. I could see my ego self because of what I've been told kind of appearing in my life. I could see it. Doesn't mean I have to change it. Doesn't mean I have to do anything, but I see it. Okay, and once you see it, we're making progress. And so you're being asked to see it because I feel you're not emotionally available either at this time to make anything happen. So we have to remove our energy from that person, from the matrix understanding of the pain and suffering and trying to get together or what's going on with this person or feeling so much as deeper understanding of subconscious, a deeper look at our shadow. What's really happening to me? Why am I really feeling this way? Why do I feel out of control? What has this person sort of triggered within me? Is this a spiritual death? Do I feel out of control? What is the universe trying to show me? Am I getting sign, symbol, synchronicities here that's tying me back to a greater understanding? I need to really deal with this type of stuff rather than just keep focusing back on what this person's doing or what they want or what they haven't done. And this is how I make slow progress. Okay, and so this person could be, you know, engaged with someone else, or this person could just be unavailable right now. But I feel like emotionally, in order for you to find the happiness, you're having to come into some understanding of this. So we have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces here. Scorpio and Cancer, Pisces, and Pisces. So I feel for this group you need one more sort of message here. Final message for group number 2. Spirit, what have I missed? What do they need to hear? Guidance. I got 5 cups. I'm not going to take it, but we know that the 5 cups is what's keeping you sort of stuck here. Actually, you know what? Let's see what this pygmy marmoset is all about, and then we'll do the final message. What is this? Due to its small size, the pygmy marmoset has more predators than other monkeys. To escape birds of prey, it moves very slowly. So that's the Knight of Pentacles, making it virtually undetectable. It can leap up to 16 feet and run spirally up tree trunks. It is so fast that it's hard to keep track of, or it's hard to keep track of it. Okay, why is this pygmy marmoset here? What is this symbolizing? This little monkey with its tongue sticking out. The Lovers, the choice, Gemini energy, the path. So the Lovers is all about choosing our path, choosing the person here. I feel like you're wanting to choose this path, but I feel like it's something about the speed here. So we might be feeling 5 cups and all that stuff here, because I feel like we've already felt like we've decided here what it is that we want. You know, this person, we've chosen this path or whatever. But I feel like what Spirit is saying is that we have to understand why it can't move as quickly as we're wanting it to move here, because this is virtually undetectable is like we don't then learn the full sort of lesson. We have to experience the journey of how to get there. So if you want to choose this person, okay, if you want to choose this person, this is the path. The path cannot be one that's happening in a way here that doesn't allow us to really experience the journey itself, that we don't see what it is that we're having to learn. It moves slowly, and it's moving slowly in order for there to be lessons. And with this spiral up the tree trunks, one, I'm seeing a spiral here, but spirals to me could mean we feel stuck and we feel like we're not getting anywhere, but the spiral is always sort of moving outwards. And the fact that it's moving up a tree trunk is to create, and now I see a tree here, to create the stability. To create the stability in our life here, that's going to be actual structure that's going to last the test of time here. Okay, we need to be persistent, but I feel like we need to connect to the heart space. This is what Spirit is wanting you to plant, is this solid tree. So if you feel like you're kind of doing circles here, if you feel overwhelmed by emotions here, then there's a reason why this is happening the way that it's happening here. And Spirit doesn't want you to sort of miss the journey, you know, and detect what's actually happening here. So this is why it's going as sort of slow as it is, if you're wanting to choose this person, if you're wanting to go down this path. But I feel like this experience of spiritual awakening, if you will, is one in which your soul has signed on to understand a greater energy in self here that is pure and true, that's outside of matrix, that you've agreed to experience and see. Okay, but this person is definitely like just a choice. Like, it doesn't have to be this person. The journey, the experience is where the lesson is. Okay, and we have to keep reminding ourselves that it's not about this person. It's not about this connection. It's about us meeting someone here that's triggered us to see where we're in dualistic thinking, where we can see the truest self here. So let's just get final words here. Final words for pile number 2. We have Judgment, Greater Truth, the Moon, seeing through the illusion and the fear, 4 Pentacles, letting go of the material world, the world that we know, the comfort zone, the matrix, and 2 Cups. So couldn't have wrote it better myself here, okay? Although it was a little choppy, my delivery. You're having to sit with a greater truth. So sometimes this happens when we experience painful situations. People leave us, separation, we sit 5 Cups. he said, she said, there's a lot of pain, and so we sit in karma. The karma here is us seeing a greater truth. This is being reawakened. You're being reawakened, reborn here as a complete different energy here, okay? This is spiritual awakening, different energy arising here, okay? This is karmically happening for you to awaken. But there's a great truth here that you're needing to see, and it is through the illusion of the matrix, through the fear, through the need to control, through us needing to do anything, okay? Everything here that you've been carrying here has been a construct of what someone else has programmed you to believe. And so we need to sit with the subconscious. We need to know what's acting out of fear. We need to trust our intuition, and we need to balance out our feminine energy here. And we also need to know when we're hanging on to matrix, or we're hanging on to comfort zone, where we're not allowing things to transform and shift because we're very fixated and stuck on our way of being, what it is we need to see. I need to see this person physically. I need to hang on to something here. You know, my belief is that this person needs to be in front of me. This is a 3D belief. So we're very fixed. We're very stuck in this mindset. We have to examine, where are we stuck? What are our beliefs? What are we doing the same? Where are we sort of in our comfort zone? And when we do this, and we really sit with a greater truth, then we can find a balance of 2 cups here with someone else. But it's a true sort of marriage of masculine and feminine energy coming together. So you're finding balance within yourself, your masculine and feminine coming together in order for you to be a balanced person, so you can have 2 cups with someone else, share with someone else in a balanced way. You don't have to spend the rest of your life lonely here, but what we do need is to balance our own energy, and we need to really understand what is duality. Are we one? You know, do we feel connected and oneness here, or do we feel separate from this person? And ask ourselves why. So pile number 2. That was your reading. I love you very much. I hope this helped you, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, beautiful, gorgeous pile number 3. You guys picked the rose quartz with the dragonfly, and we're looking at what is the effing problem with this person. So, as I explained in the intro, which you might have skipped, and I will repeat it again because I think it's very important to give context, I don't feel that there is any problems with anyone, okay? So if you feel like someone is a problem, then your understanding of what problem is probably skewed in some way. So everyone is on their journey, however far they're on, okay? So if somebody is in shadow, if somebody is in ego, if somebody's acting out of autopilot or programming, it could impact us if we are also in ego and take things in a way here that's based on our own understanding and experience. But if we can surrender and understand that only God allows people to be where they're at and knows what's right, what's wrong, and we are only responsible for our own pure light and energy, accepting things to be as they are, exactly as they are, we don't allow other people to impact our own thoughts of self. Okay, we understand and we connect with a greater source, a greater understanding that we're whole, complete, and someone else cannot do, say, or be anything at all that's going to rock our foundation or make us feel devalued in any way. Now, this isn't minimizing that you might feel negative energy when it comes to someone else. That's valid. Okay, it's valid if you're feeling this way, but what that is saying is to check, why do we feel the way we feel? And why is because there's a belief or an understanding that we're carrying that is stemming from ego. Because the ego says, I need to hear this from this person. I need to see this from this person. All of these things that we're wanting this person to be, say, do, is to prop up an ego self. The non-egoic self doesn't need anyone to say, do, or be anything at all. And what they do, say, or be has no impact on us. They can be, say, or do whatever. Okay, now this isn't gaslighting, saying we just turn a blind eye and we allow ourselves to be beat up. Okay, this is saying we make responsive decisions in our own life that have nothing to do with anyone else. And so if somebody is in ego, in shadow, and they want to react or respond in whatever way, that has no bearing on how we live our life. Okay, so if we're pulled into someone else's drama or someone else's energy, and it's reacting in a certain way within us, then we need to look at our own ego. We need to look at the driver, our own intention, okay? Because that means the ego's still running the show, okay? Because feelings are driven from our thoughts, And so we always need to check back on our thoughts. If we're feeling sadness, anger, jealousy, resentment, that means the thought isn't aligned with the great divine source, because divine source knows you're pure. And so when we start to feel all of these negative emotions, it's because the thought isn't aligned with the greater truth. And so we need to check, where is that thought coming from? Because your feelings are always pure and honest. That's the navigating system. It tells you, pile 3, you're kind of thinking negative, it's not true, and it's keeping you kind of like bumpers in the bowling lane, okay? When you start to deviate with your thoughts, it's saying, hey, you're leaning into ego. Hey, your thoughts are sort of going off based on a construct belief here that's not a truth. And so we bring it back. But when we feel happy, content, and joyful, that's the true state. Okay, this is why we feel the way we feel, because we know it's the objective truth. So, in saying all this, you, someone on your mind, have a dynamic that isn't flowing, and we want to see what is it exactly about this person specifically that is connecting to your energy in a way that's making it difficult. So we might see what the F is wrong with you at the same time as what the F is wrong with this person. Okay, so this isn't for everyone, and this might be triggering because we don't want to see what's wrong with us, or sometimes we can't even see what's wrong with us because it's so in the shadow. So I'm going to be looking at this objectively, the dynamic between you and this person, to say what's wrong here, wrong, okay, everything for a reason, but how can we jive? How can we make it better? How can we see or engage differently in order to move things along, to heal, okay, to accept some greater truth here that I feel you want, because you don't want to be in pain and suffering, okay, or you can do whatever you want, but you're here for a reason. So let's see. Loneliness. I know that I am never alone. Depend. Okay. Keyword depend. Here we have a hammer breaking through a wall. And we have a traffic light with the green light go. And we have number 10 with unfinished symphony. An egg, all about rebirth, and then a keyboard. We have message in a bottle, number 15. And we have surrender your ego. Cultivate gratitude. Be of service to others and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. Okay, we were just talking about this. Detective, light attributes, great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. Shadow attributes, voyeurism and falsifying information. Companion, light attributes, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. Shadow attributes, betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. I'm going to do this. And we have Messiah, light attributes, serving humanity with humility. Light attributes, exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. And we have ingenuity. Okay. And we have new beginnings. I'll put that like that. And we have snake. That's about rebirth as well as this egg and this new beginning. Healing, new beginning, being reborn. And we have gold, 26, or the number 8. And we have monk should. Okay, and we have expand. Interesting, and expand came out for pile 1, but not in this card. And new beginning came out also, I believe, for pile 1. So there could be a connection here. And we have guide. And we have sitting on top of the world, number 68. And we have the poet, number 7. And we have the thinking woman, 47. And we have the bee, air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Also feeling earth energy from the bumblebee as well, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And we have North American porcupine. The porcupine is covered with thousands of long spiky hairs that stand up when it feels threatened and come off easy to stick into its attacker's skin. Its paws equipped with claws allow it to climb trees, to pick leaves, pine needles, seeds, and fruits it feeds on. Okay. Enlightenment, beautiful energy, and victim. Okay. Maybe I should have just done one sort of pile here for these readings, because it always stems back to the ego, and it could have just been the message of the ego. Pile 1, or pile, you could certainly be connected to 1. Pile 3, let me sit with this energy here, and then I'll get into your reading. Okay, we'll read tarot as well. So you and this person on your mind. I feel like we're still working through egoic things here, okay? Because I feel the ego needs to see and hear certain things to validate itself, or else it starts to talk stories. And so we're getting in our own mind, okay? Because the old script comes through, the old programming comes through, and we start to convince ourselves and tell ourselves certain things that aren't true. And the untruth here is that this person needs to do or say or be certain things in order for us to feel better, or in order for something to happen in our own world here. Okay, but this is not true. So I feel as though you do feel a loneliness here, okay? I feel like there is a loneliness here because I feel like you want to attain something successful here with this person. And what you consider success with this person is maybe this person being in your world, or you guys coming together here, okay? Or whatever the success is that you see with this person. But I feel like whatever you're experiencing right now with this person is the universe pushing you outside of your comfort zone in order for you to be able to rely on self without needing anyone or anything for you to be okay. And I mean, we're always okay, but our human self to be okay without suffering, without being in our mind. And so the only way to free from the mind, the only way to free from the programming is for us to identify when we're there. So if we're feeling alone, if we're feeling like we can't do it on our own, it's because the ego's creeping in there, trying to make us feel as though we're needing to attain an external person or thing here in order to validate ourselves or feel better. But that's not true. Okay, it's not true. So I think we're experiencing something here with someone that might make us feel quite defensive. Okay, might make us feel quite defensive here. And we don't need to be. So what Spirit is saying is that this journey with this person is still proceeding in a way here that will move forward. Okay, it will move forward, but there is certain lessons here that are needing to be picked up along the way within self. And this is how we become sort of closer to our enlightened self here, in order to understand things a little bit differently than how we're probably mentally understanding them today. And so if you've been separated, I feel here, from this person here with this loneliness, okay, it's only to give you a pause here in order to connect to something within self here, in order for you to come through reborn differently here and see things differently here. And so I feel like the more we peel back the layers here of a greater truth, the more we might finally understand and see the greater truth within us, that we're not as lonely as we might feel we are, you know, that's sort of a thought we're carrying here. And so I think you're still connecting to a greater part of self. And so I think there might be parts of this journey or this connection that you're learning to trust what is healthy for you, what you can trust, which direction to go, and which is false or what doesn't work or what is sort of a negative pattern or belief. And so I feel like we could suddenly go backwards in ego and play victim and be defensive. And we have to really check ourselves. Okay, we really have to check ourselves. And we have to peel back the layers and look at the thoughts that we're carrying. Oh, we got to be like this, sort of this detective here, okay? And we have to say, is this coming from a place within me that is stemmed from ego? It needs to validate. It needs to either blame the other person or make me, blame the other person, make me a victim, or make me sort of the person here that's done something that needs to be, I don't know, like forgiven. Okay, because there is nothing here in this world that we're supposed to be or do that will get someone to sort of approve of us in some way here that's going to connect back to our authentic self, aside from it supporting or propping up the ego self. And so I feel like we can get quite defensive here in this connection with this person specifically. So I do feel as though it's not over here between you and whoever this person is. I also feel like you could be not seeing beyond this connection. And I feel like there is more beyond this connection here, if I got to be honest with you. And what that is only going to be seen. Look at that Page of Wands, exploring. Okay, I'm going to put it back, but we're going to ask Spirit. But what I was going to say is the only way we can see what the more is outside of this connection is by us sort of freeing ourselves here and really checking back on where is our intention of what we want here. Because part of me feels like you're wanting to fit something, to make something, to create something here in a place that isn't happening. You know, it's not happening. And so we need to allow the universe to let us move on from this, because we might be seeing something in a certain way, or that moving on would be a threat, or let's ask for some more here. Okay, let's become more clear as we pull tarot. So Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. What is this message we're seeing here for pile 3? What do they need to know? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Please protect me and the viewers as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. And this problem they have with this other person. 10 of Cups. There's that emotional happiness with you and another person. So we're really depending on someone else to bring us happiness here. If that is our understanding. Someone else. Knight of Swords in reverse. 7 of Pentacles. And the Wheel of Fortune. Sun in reverse. Ego. Ego death. Leo. Why is this 7 of Pentacles here? Oops, it fell on the ground. I'll grab that. 6 of Cups. And it fell like this. 6 of Swords in reverse. and the ancestor spirit, which we'll read from this deck. Oh, no, we won't read from this deck because, and the Empress Taurus, because I don't believe this came with a guidebook, but we'll tap into this. Okay, so Taurus energy and Leo energy. So let me sit here. This ancestor spirit's giving me this porcupine as well. This is all about our ancestors and our culture and our traditions. And just give me a minute. Okay. This is the soulmates card too. Person, place, thing of the past. Could be the ancestors here. I feel there's something beyond this person and this connection here that you're needing to heal and recover and identify and work with. And it is all about how we give love, how we receive love, what we value, seeing value in ourselves, boundaries, learning how to fill our own cup, learning how to be abundant, learning about unconditional love of self. Okay, and I feel like we're healing ancestral wounds of certain beliefs, and the ego's not helping. And so I feel like this connection that we're utilizing here is stunted because of the fact that we need to do a lot of self-work here on self. Okay, a lot of self-work here on self. I'm getting an interesting energy here. And it's kind of changing up on me here. I feel like you might not know how to work with this person that you came here about. And you're not quite sure how to engage. I feel like you might feel trapped. This could be specific for somebody, okay? This is kind of different, but you might feel trapped in your own experience of something of the past here that doesn't allow you to love and give and work with this person. So you're quite defensive here because of the pains of the past. And this is stemming from pains you've come into this world with, you know? And you could have carried this as a childhood here. Things that you've grown up with here have not really allowed you to sort of transcend some of this pain. And so the ego's not helping. And I feel like you're being called to be reborn, to find a way here how to free yourself in order to work with another here by shedding the ego, by seeing clearly. But we're stuck in the pain and we're stuck in the victim mentality. We're not allowing things to move. So we run away, we don't confront, we don't know how to invest our time, our energy, and our efforts towards something. We're in our mind about it. And so, back to the previous energy I was reading, both energies are in their mind, stuck in their ego, about what they're seeing as something that is true. But there's a need to erase what the mind is sort of keeping us stuck with in order for the ego to fall away, in order for us to see clearly, in order for us to confront something of a greater truth here instead of being defensive, guarded, playing victim, so that we can work and invest in something here. Because I feel as though this is showing me that there is a potential of a 10 of Cups here, that the universe wants to move forward and give this to you. And it could certainly be this connection because this is what this is about. But in order for things to turn, in order for there to be divine timing and this coming together, we are the ones that have to sort of be present. And I feel like right now we're running away. I feel like right now we don't see where we're stuck. And I feel like there's love here with the 6 of Cups. But I feel like there's a childhood trauma here and ancestor wounds we're needing to deal with. We need to connect with unconditional love, being able to receive love, parental wounds. Okay, so this kind of turned interesting here, but I feel like you're being guided. I feel like you're being guided here. But I feel like you might feel stuck. This is an interesting energy. I feel like I'm missing something important here. Are you settling in this connection because you are lonely? Are you scared of being lonely and you want a companion? Do you have a greater purpose here that you feel in this world that's overriding this connection that your ego is feeding? Let's see, spirits. What am I missing here? This is an interesting pile. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. What is this all about for pile 3? What the F is going on here with both energies or all energies in this pile in regards to what they're needing to know. 4 swords in reverse. Chariot in reverse, Cancer energy. Empress coming out again, Taurus energy. Tower. Wow. Three of Wands. The Magician in reverse and the Lovers. Ancestor spirits at the bottom of the deck again. Page of Pentacles. Okay, pile 2, 3. My goodness, what's wrong with me today? Pile 3. We still need to do more healing and reflecting here. Things aren't moving forward, okay, in a successful way where we can integrate shadow parts of self in order to have expansion and to move forward, because we need to allow things that don't serve us fall away. And these are things that are untrue in our world here in order for there to be a clearing, so we can receive abundant love and give abundant love. And so I feel like maybe you have someone in your world here wanting to give you abundance, who is unconditionally loving. And maybe we don't see it. We feel lonely. This person might just feel like a companion here. We're trying to uncover certain things from a mind's perspective rather than from a heart's perspective, rather from connecting to a place that allows us to receive and give love. So we're sort of in this energy of a reverse magician, and this could be 2 things that are coming through. We're thinking that we're sort of have this greater purpose with this Messiah, and it's all stemming from ego, a greater purpose outside of this connection. And so this connection is stunted or stopped because of our ego, thinking that we are in this reverse magician, which is a selfish energy. And so we can't manifest here. And this is the thing that needs to fall away. Okay, that we need to choose the right path here for us that is divinely put in front of us with the Wheel of Fortune. But we might not want to see it because we haven't healed certain parts of self. And so we might be using or utilizing this, I am the Messiah, or there's things I need to do in this world. I'm the only one who can do it. And so that means I cannot engage in this connection. I cannot move forward in this connection. I cannot entertain this connection. I can't expand in this connection. I'm called on this great duty, this great path, because my ancestors are calling me, or this is what I've been made to sort of do. And this is ego. You're not made to do anything. Spirit's putting this connection in front of you in order for you to accept and embrace some sort of greater truth and allow the illusion to fall away. So the ego self might be protecting itself from a greater truth, which is, how do I really feel about this person in pile number 3? This person who I feel is here as a divine feminine energy? Or is this big show that I'm putting on stemming from ego to avoid and to run away and to not move forward with this Empress because my fear is getting the better of me? And so I depend on my trauma or my ego or my understanding of what I believe to help move me forward in a way in my own world, but it's stunting my growth, stunting this connection, stunting my manifestation, not aligned with my Dharma. I'm not walking the path of my Dharma. And there's a greater truth calling to me that I need to understand so I can work on this truth and work on this connection that I'm not really wanting to see, or allowing the false to fall away, because there's a me that's supposed to be reborn. And the me that's supposed to be reborn here is an enlightened being, not a victim being, not one that has a big ego thinking it's going to solve some sort of, I don't know, world problem here with the Messiah. So we're seeing this connection as something scary that we're not supposed to explore, but yet we're being guided to explore it by Spirit. That is our Dharma. That is our path. That is where the growth is supposed to happen, the healing, the ancestral wounds. But we're defensive. We're guarded. We're not wanting to accept it or come to some greater truth. And all we have to do is really observe, okay, from a sort of unbiased position, not defend or be guarded or defensive, in order for the truth to shine out. Be like this detective. Uncover every stone and see what we see, and not pretend that we want to see things different. So I want to see, this is the weirdest reading I've ever done in my life, to be honest with you. But this is what's coming through. So for pile 3, Spirit, what more does pile 3 need to know? Now, again, this could be your person's energy here, if it's not yours. Page of Pentacles in reverse, 10 of Cups. You know, what's this person's problem here is they're covering up what they're being guided to do, which is explore this connection by hanging on to some belief that they have a greater purpose here that's going to, I don't know, like be this Messiah, you know, but that's the fear, that's the ego. 8 of Cups in reverse. Anything further for pile 3? Empress for a 3rd time. It's going to keep popping up there because you're needing to accept something about this Empress. Page of Swords, King of Wands, and the Moon in reverse. Yes, okay. I'm sure glad this came out the way it did. And here's the Ace of Pentacles, and here's the Page of Cups. Okay. Pile 3. This could certainly be your person's energy, okay? What's wrong with this person? What is wrong with this person? This person hasn't manifested anything here with the Magician in reverse. The new beginning they're supposed to have in their world. Something that they are supposed to create. Abundance for themselves in this world. Okay, and in order to do this, if they open up their heart space, they have to be vulnerable. They have to accept some sort of thing greater than their ego. And this person's stuck. They're not wanting to see. They're not wanting to accept it. Because that would mean they'd have to walk away from their victimhood, their trauma. Walk away. See you for who you are. Beautiful, loving, giving Empress who wants to give love, share love. And so they have mother wounds. They have a need to see themselves and their value. Receive love. Be open to unconditional love. Learn about unconditional love of self in order for them to realize this 10 Cups in this connection. You see it. Okay, again, I'm reading this as this was your person. So this is changed like 10 ways from Sunday. If this doesn't resonate, not your pile, but this is how it's coming out. And I just want to read how it's coming through. So I feel like you and your person who's been in this sort of energy see the potential here with 10 Cups. Okay, and this person's avoiding, fighting, deflecting, playing victim. They need to walk a path of enlightenment here. They need to do healing and reflecting here. They need to start asking the questions here. They need to get out of the moonlight and the fear. They're in fear still. They haven't asked the questions yet. And in order to ask the right questions here, in order to uncover things, they have to be in a more confident energy here to make things happen. Or they have to at least question things in order for them to then get in a confident energy to make things happen in this connection, in order for there to be an opening of the heart space. But I feel like this person isn't confident to pursue this connection, isn't taking action here. Because I feel like this person hasn't yet asked any questions here in regards to their shadow, in regards to the moonlight, in regards to their subconscious. They haven't done any reflecting. They haven't done any of this. Like, where am I in ego? What sort of Messiah complex do I have here that I'm telling myself I need to, be the hero in this storyline of whatever they're doing in their world? Because I feel like they're living some sort of Messiah hero thing. I have to do this. I'm the only one that can do this. So that means I have to not pay attention to, my pile 3 person. And so it's like, it's a victim mentality here, because it's like, well, what do you mean you have to exclude your life purpose, your happiness, your emotional bliss here with someone here who's meant for you? And the only reason why we believe we need to exclude and be sort of defensive here and victimize is because the ego feels it's not deserving. So it remains lonely. Okay, they keep you in friend zone. They defend their position. They're defensive. They're angry. They're guarded. They need to break out of this. They need to break out of this. And there's still more learning this person needs to do. But they have to uncover this. And then they have to go after it. But I feel like your person hasn't even sort of done this preliminary sort of questioning of the ego in order to get out of the moonlight, in order for them to open up their heart space, in order for them to even come together. Look at that, falling apart with the 4 of Wands in reverse, not coming together, not allowing the stability to happen, stuck in something they need to walk away from, that they're telling themselves they're the Messiah. Okay, again, this comes through very pointed and direct, but the Messiah is a belief that we're doing the righteous thing here, or that we're the only one that can do something here that's proper, but it's at the expense of this connection. So I'm really sorry how this reading is turning, but let's now get a final message here and see, what does pile 3 need to know then about this? How they can help this. How can they help this situation? Oh, wow. Ace of Cups in reverse, all about self. The only thing we can do is focus on self. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. 9 of Cups in reverse. 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Wowzers, wowzers, and more wowzers. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. What can pile 3 do here? 10 Pentacles in reverse and 4 of Cups in reverse. Holy camoli. And there's Judgments. And under that's the 8 Swords. Okay. So I don't know whose energy this is. You or your person. It could be mirroring. Okay. I started off as you. It went into your person. Then it went back to you. I don't know. And I don't like reading it so confusing like this, but there's always a reason why the channeling comes out the way it does. And maybe there's only one person that needs to hear this. But I do feel like you could be mirroring your person, or this could be your person's energy. Hard to see your own shadow, okay? But something inside you is going to know if this is you. So why I'm saying this is because 8 Swords. You could certainly be an 8 Swords. And this is difficult for us to know when we're 8 Swords, okay? Or it could be your person. There's a limitation here. And the limitation could be one, exactly as I said. I'm the only one that can bring justice here or do the right thing in this situation at the expense of me moving forward in this happy connection. And we believe it, but that's a limitation. Says who? Where's this coming from? Is this defensive victim mentality? Because deep down in our child energy, we have something unhealed that doesn't want to receive love, that doesn't understand about our own unconditional love of self, filling our own cup. We're blocked when it comes to self. And so we're blocking a connection with someone, a new beginning with someone, because we don't know how to love ourselves. And so we're using whatever excuse we can here as the experience of why we can't. But we need a greater truth. We need to see something greater here. We need to have a rebirth of self here, an enlightened self, a new beginning of self that isn't an ego, that isn't held back, that frees ourselves from our old ways of being and thinking, that we have to attach to this life path that we're doing because we're the only ones that need to be stuck to that. No, come hell or high water, even if we're happy or not. But emotionally, we're miserable. And so we're dependent on this thing. We're dependent on a thing it doesn't have long-term stability. The tower needs to fall. The family's fallen apart. The thing we built is falling apart. It needs to fall apart. We can't stay here anymore. And so we're hanging on to the fallen family. We're hanging on to the fallen thing. Okay, and so we're unhappy, and we can't find happiness in this connection. And so the Spirit is saying, We can be in this 4 cups energy as long as we remain in a situation where we're emotionally unsatisfied, looking at what doesn't work. Woe is me. I am this Messiah here, and therefore I must do this. Meanwhile, it's like we can get out of this energy. We don't need to be engaged in what isn't working. The only reason why we're doing this is because a part of us can't accept a greater truth here about self-love and self-worth. We don't see that we're an ego. We're making up a story here. There's an ancestral wound that we're needing to heal. So we're defensive in our position. I have to be this way. I got to do this thing. We're in our mind about it. We're being victim. Okay, when the truth is, there's something greater we can work towards. We could build something. We can build another 10 of Pentacles. Okay, we might think, well, I don't want to let go of my 10 Pentacles. This is my security. This is what I'm dependent on. Financially, it's keeping me afloat. It pays my bills. It keeps me warm. It's my thing. So I'm hanging on to it. Meanwhile, the universe is making it very uncomfortable, saying you don't need to be dependent on something's falling apart because it's emotionally not satisfying. And you keep building towards this thing, but you could build a whole new future that's happy. You're going to have to see this truth because emotionally you're miserable here and your life can expand. It's time to go. It's time to move forward. It's time for you to break out of your 8 swords. The mental thought we have here. We got to be observant, objective, understand everything here. Release the ego. Release the notion that we're some sort of person that has to do a certain thing or be a certain way in order for there to be an outcome, for things to be perfect. I don't need to be in this energy. Okie dokie, I do feel one more, and then that is it, because this reading, I gotta tell you, I need a hit of whiskey after this. I'm kidding, I don't drink, but if I did, I'd be hitting the whiskey. So, Spirit, please help pile number 3. Something about pile 3 here is needing to be said. You know, if this is their person, or if this is them and their person, there needs to be some sort of guidance they're needing to hear. What is it that pile 3 doesn't understand yet that they need, whether they're on one side of the fence or the other? And what do they need to know? What's going to be helpful? 4 of Pentacles again. They need to release where we're held back, the comfort zone. 8 swords, we're in our mind. We're putting up limiting thoughts that don't exist. That's stemming from ego and fear. We need to know which, and then we just need to let it go. King of Swords. So our mind or thoughts is telling us one thing that's untrue. Ace of Pentacles, a new beginning in creating something worth having here. We can rebuild our 10 Pentacles, but it starts with an ace. The only way to attain something of value here is to check our thoughts to see where we're held back and limited. We need to work with another. The Bumblebee, 3 of Pentacles, and in order to work with another, we need to show up. In order to show up, we need to check our thoughts. Why we cannot show up. Why we cannot show up is because we have a belief here that's keeping us stuck that is untrue. And it's preventing you from building something in the future because you're held back by something in your life that you're not admitting or seeing, or your person. 7 of Wands, so we get defensive. We start defending our position. We start fighting for the wrong team, trying to hold the tower, instead of fighting for the thing here that we're being called to, guided towards, which is our true happiness. And Spirit wants you happy. Spirit doesn't want you defending the old world. Spirit doesn't want you miserable. Spirit wants you happy, having a new beginning, creating a new thing here. Wheel of Fortune. Allow the universe to guide you here, to have a new beginning here and what is worth having. Everything else is old. Everything else needs to go away. We need to allow ourselves to let go of the comfort zone, whatever idea that we're some sort of Messiah hero by doing the right thing is preventing us from showing up, working with the right people because of a limiting thought, which I already talked about. And it comes down to this, lovers, because this is all about the path that we're destined to follow. And we could keep refusing, denying to see, suppressing, saying it's not for me, not taking this path, and then the universe starts to turn up the heat in our world and things fall apart. And things I feel here have been falling apart, okay? And we're just not wanting to allow the universe to flow us out of whatever this is. So we could choose this connection, or we could choose the right person. We're probably needing to choose between two people, and we're sort of stuck. We keep choosing the other person, or the safe person, or the thing here that isn't aligned with our path of where we're supposed to go. The wheel turning in order to have expansion, growth, to create the thing, the thing in our world. This is the thing we need to create in our world. Our purpose, our dharma, our destiny, our fate is to create this thing with someone. And we're not creating it with the someone because we keep choosing the wrong thing. The thing that's limiting, the thing that's comfortable, the thing that's restricted, the thing we're defending, the thing we're believing, because our ego's telling us it's right, but it's not right. It's not right here at all. Okay? It's not right. Ancestral spirit. And we're telling ourselves, I believe, that it's something we're called to do because our family wants us to do it, or this is what we were destined to do in some way, or meanwhile, I feel like the true ancestor spirit is coming through here saying, you're guided to be pulled on this path. You're healing ancestral wounds. You need to go down the path that's going to expand, grow. That's the right path. That's going to do justice for you and your family, not the path that you're telling yourself is doing something righteous for your family spirit or whatever else you're telling yourself. Look at that. Death. Spiritual transformation. You have to let go of the old. Things aren't working in order to have this rebirth with the snake. Healing. Shedding of the old. Release. This is complete transformation. Complete release of everything old. Clearing of the playing field. Nothing here that can stand anymore needs to be released, let go of, cleaned out in order to have a new beginning and a transformation of self, to be reborn in order to have the actual truth be planted here, the thing that your ancestors are wanting you to do, that you come here to do. You've come here to do this. Don't refuse it out of an egoic thing, convincing yourself that that's the true story. It's not. That's a mental belief we have that's limiting you. That's you in your mind about something that's untrue. That's you in your mind about something that's untrue because you don't want to see it, or it's easier to stay stuck. It's easier to do the comfort zone. And we tell ourselves a bunch of stories that aren't true. The Wheel of Fortune is saying, hey, listen to the universe. Allow things to flow. You're going to manifest something beautiful here. So it could be you. This could be your person. This reading could just have been a whole waste of time here, but I don't feel it. I feel it came through at the end very clear for someone to hear this. Okay, and look at this beautiful, sitting on top of the world. We can have it all. We can have it all here. But we need to allow things to flow here. And I feel like having it all is you reaching a state of not settling. We're settling for a reason, because we still need to connect to that Ace of Cups within us that we're deserving. Okay, and we may think we are telling ourselves we're deserving, but what's our action doing? Is our action supporting us emotionally being meh? Is our action supporting some action in our world here that's more materialistic, that's more dependent on sort of the material world? Or is our action depending solely on our happiness, enjoying this relationship or a relationship here that's divinely guided, that's pulling us in this direction? That's telling you like, hey, pile 3, you're not emotionally happy. You need to shed things in your life here. You're really stuck in old mindsets here. Your soul wants to grow. Your spirit is pulling you out of this. You're supposed to be reborn. Supposed to be, because your ancestors are telling you this is what you came here to do. Don't deny, suppress, or convince yourself that you're not. You're living a life of loneliness here, choosing the other path, the other person, the other thing. And it's tiring. And break out of this mindset. Only you have the hammer to break out. You don't need to depend on any life situation that's established in the matrix world. It's limiting you. It's only pentacles. It's not real. Okay? So you don't need that. Pile 3. I love you very much. I hope this helped you. I hope it resonated for someone. And I'm always all about your healing. So I do deliver this with the most love and compassion and care for you to pull a way through. Okay? That's how I'm delivering this for you, to get you to see this. I don't know how else to do it. And maybe why it took a while to get there is we're really sort of covering things up here in a way that is, I feel like, some sort of self-denial, not wanting to see, like really believing this in order to get through. And so we start compounding those beliefs more and more and more, and it's so hard to get to the truth. We start to convince ourselves, of something that isn't true. And so I couldn't even see this. But now it's very clear to me, very clear. All the cards are supporting this need for change, okay? Only you hold the key. Only you have the hammer to break out of this. You find your own happiness. You don't need to be held back and stuck, okay? The universe has your back. This is joy, happiness, moving forward, being aligned with what our ancestor spirits are wanting for us, as feeling on top of the world, attaining the gold. Go for it, okay? This is the new beginning. We can be completely enlightened. We don't have to be in victim. I'm done here. Okay. I will see you to the next one. Bye.